Ready? Welcome, my friends, to the Art at Noon Backstory, a conversation series that goes beyond the performance of painting or the exhibition to explore the people, experiences, and inspiration that bring the arts to life. Art at Noon is built on the belief that learning never ends. Lifelong learning keeps our minds curious, our hearts open, and our spirits engaged with the beauty and the wonder that just surrounds us. Whether we are standing before a masterpiece, as some of us did in London, in a museum, listening to a musician, watching a theatrical performance, exploring a historic church, or walking through a North Florida wilderness, as we are going to be doing. Every experience invites us to see the world with fresh eyes. The arts enrich our lives in ways that reach beyond knowledge alone. They awaken imagination, deepen compassion, inspire gratitude, and often leads us to moments of reflection that nourish our spiritual lives. Art reminds us to slow down, notice beauty, ask meaningful questions, and recognize the creativity that surrounds us in both human expression and the natural world. Throughout the year, Art at Noon brings together artists, historians, authors, performers, museum educators, and cultural leaders through engaging conversations, educational programs, museum visits, and creative experiences that make art accessible to everyone. Our goal at Art at Noon is not simply to learn about art, but to experience how art connects us with history, community, nature, faith, and my Zoom friends, one another. Our backstory interviews continue that mission by introducing us to people behind the arts. Every painting, every performance, every exhibition, and every production, as you're going to find out, begins with a story. So today, we are delighted to welcome Lee Hamby, whose dedication to the community theater has enriched audiences and performers throughout our region. We'll explore his journey into theater, the many roles he has held, his commitment, and believe you me, it is a commitment. I've watched this for over close to 20 years now, to strengthening our local arts community and the vision that he has for this exciting new arts collective and its inaugural production of Victoria, Victoria. So please join me in welcoming Lee Hamby to the Art at Noon backstory. Yay!
Hi, everybody.
And if you'll do me a favor by everybody muting, I will have an opportunity for it's just I have grandchildren here. I know they're going to interrupt at any time, so you're just going to have to understand that. But that'll get us all on the same line. So, Lee, let's get to know you a little bit, okay? I know,
Okay.
I know you, but let's let others get to know. Tell us just a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up, and what first sparked your interest in theater?
I was born and raised in Jacksonville on the north side in the Ocean Way area, which back then I was not proud to say I was from, but it's grown a little bit and better than ever. Too busy in my opinion, but that's where I grew up. I went to Douglas Anderson School of the Arts for high school and graduated with a vocal and a musical theater diploma, and loved every second of high school. And that's, really kind of, I guess church was originally the first inkling of my ability as a performer and singer. I started off wanting to be a contemporary Christian singer back in the day, and somehow that found opera, which then found musical theater, which is what I do mostly now. So that's my journey into the arts. A lot of people started in church, as we all know. I did my first play at church. I sang my first solo at church, things like that. So it really sparked my interest.
Okay, and I think you've kind of hit on that just a little bit, but maybe we'll explore it just a little bit more. Uh, what were some of your earliest experiences on the stage and behind the scene other than church? What were some of those?
In first grade, I played the mean old Jack Frost in I forgot what the title. I think it was just Jack Frost, and that was first grade. I was a little chubby little thing that didn't know what he was doing, but somehow they saw something in me that said I could play this uh, this mean character, icy character, and that was one of my first things. Yeah.
And look how it's progressed.
Look, look how it's progressed. I mean, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but I have really,
Yes, you have
I've,
developed more than just the mean Jack Frost, okay?
yes,
All right,
yes. I hope so at least.
let's talk a little bit about your career in the arts.
Mhm.
You've worn many hats throughout your career. Tell us about the positions that you've held and how each has kind of shaped your perspective of the arts.
Well, first and foremost, I was 100% a performer for many, many years, and really thought that that was my career path, and it was for a very long time. And then, Jacksonville brought me back here because my family, I have older parents. So, and I had a brother that was an addict that was causing lots of family issues. So I just could not take it anymore living in New York. Hearing all this stuff happen, I really felt like I needed to be here to help. So it led me back here. And that was in 2000, about 2007. 2006, I think. And I said, you know what? If I'm gonna be here, I want to make a difference. I knew how theater was, and it was, a lot of people were doing the same old, same old. They were doing, all the shows that we've all seen a million times. And I thought, if I can make a difference, that's what I really want to do. And I didn't know as a performer at that time what that would be. And so I came back, started doing shows again in community theater, and loved it. And I'll be honest, I loved it more than I did as a professional because when you're a professional, it becomes a job, just like anything else. And so I was at Players by the Sea at that time as an actor, and Joe Shores, that was the leader then, gave me my first opportunity to direct. And they had stopped doing musicals at that time because they're difficult, they're expensive, there's a lot of it's tough to produce a musical. And so I came in and I directed a show called Red Hot and Coal, which is about Cole Porter, and it has all the famous people in it, like Cole Porter, of course, Ethel Merman, all these people and these famous people, and I had the best time ever doing it. Was it a challenge? Absolutely, but I found that my love was that I really found my passion again. And that's what I've pretty much been doing ever since is producing shows. And then that led me to being an artistic director, a production manager, and then ultimately a executive director and toilet scrubber. You know, we all have to do it all. Working in the nonprofit world. We have to do everything we can to make it work. So, long story short, that's kind of how it got me going into what I do now.
Okay, where we met was you formulated this wonderful, just kind of crazy. Oh Lord, the Five and Dime Theater. If y'all have not
Mhm.
that, and Grady and I sat on the first board. We were
Yeah,
there. We were the old people on the board. All these young people let us in, and
we love.
we love them and still do, and have
Mhm.
watched this little theater grow. So you went from there, and just kind of give us your trajectory, where kind of how you flowed through. Show us how you flowed through Jacksonville, okay? How
So
many
I
lives?
started. my first job was at Players by the Sea as production manager, which was kind of a mix of artistic director and making sure the production happened. And I was there, I kind of formed this role. And like I said, I was the first one that ever did it. I was there to really make sure that because in a season you'd have a really good show, a really bad show, a mediocre show. I was there to kind of level the playing field and make sure everything was at least, enjoyable and wonderful. And so that was my first gig in Jacksonville working in the nonprofit arts. And so then after that, I decided to start my own thing. And I was there for quite some time. I mean, as a volunteer, then into this position, and then just director for a while. And then founded, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. I formed this group of people that were passionate about theater in Jacksonville. And that was a mix of graphic designers. That was we had teachers, we had or educators of all kinds. We had the whole gamut of people, and we just kind of started meeting in my living room, and then we'd start going to other people's houses. We'd then make it turn into a brunch, so it was fun, and we founded the Five and Dime, and that is now 15, just had its 15-year birthday anniversary a couple of weeks ago. Oh, actually, in May 15th was or May 10th was the day. Um, so I was there for 10 of the 15 years. And during COVID, like everybody else, I had to pivot and figure out what to do because at that time, as a supplemental income, I was house and pet sitting for people. And at COVID, everything went away. Nobody was traveling and nobody was doing theater. So both of my livelihoods were gone. So I freaked out. But after a while, I realized that I was happy doing nothing for a change. I then started making wreaths, which I have a background in floral design. And I started making wreaths. I saw some videos on Facebook and I was like, I can make a prettier wreath than that. Everybody was creating, baking, all that stuff at that point. And so I decided to leave Five and Dime and just kind of chill for a while because I had not had a weekend to myself in many, many years. I hadn't had a vacation. I was always working, doing something. So I quit during Five and Dime, passed it on to a younger group of people,
Yeah.
and it's still thriving. And I love that they're still going strong. I then, while I was, happy sitting on my butt for a while, I got a call from the lovely lady, Celia Frank, that used to run ABET Theater at the beach. She wanted to retire. She had not even told the board at that point that she was going to retire. She asked me to come on and take her place. And I said, oh gosh, I don't want to. But I did because they were thinking about closing their doors. They were in this really kind of hard place, not knowing what to do. So I took over as kind of temporary executive director for them, managing director. And what was supposed to be a temporary thing lasted 4 years. So I was there for 4 years, and we built, more than anything, built their clientele, built their bank account for sure. They were very much struggling at the time. And by the 4-year mark, we had really built an account that could sustain them for a while, which was nice to know. So then I left them and formed what we now have, that's opening next week, the Arts Collective Theater, and that's where we are today. That was a very long story short. I'm telling you, there's a
Yeah,
lot
and
of stuff in between.
that gives us a lot of because a lot of the questions I have are going to revolve around that. And I thought, well,
Okay, good.
let's just combine it all in one little piece.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask you this. What do you think makes a community theater such a valuable part of the community, Lee? I know you have thoughts on that because we
Oh,
share.
I have many thoughts. It's hard to explain, but if you witness it, it's amazing. It's better than I'll ever be able to explain it. What it does for people um, is quite amazing, and I'll give a couple of examples, especially children. One of the most wonderful experiences that I have, we were doing summer camp at the Five and Dime, and I'll be honest, children. I love children, but I don't want children. I don't want to have to take care of children. Um, but these children coming in, this specific one we called Linus. I can't remember her. I can't remember her name, but we called her Linus because she carried a little blanket around with her. She was the cutest little thing you've ever seen, and she didn't talk to anybody. She sat in the corner. In about 4 days, she was a new person. She didn't have her blanket with her. She talked to everybody. She was the life of the party. I could cry thinking about it. It was an amazing transformation in 4 days. I really think it's a sanctuary for us as wacky, crazy creatives to find our tribe and find our chosen family. It helps so much. Um, it takes you away from your everyday life, your struggles, your stresses, sometimes blood family can be the most stressful thing, I'm sure we all know. And to find that your people is what really happens, and it saves us all. I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't do theater. It's hard to think about. Like, I don't know. Of course, I have other interests, but are they the passion that I have for theater? No, but I still love doing other stuff. But it really is, I think, that in a nutshell, that it can transform you. It helps your struggles. It helps your self confidence. It helps speaking in public. It helps with everything. I mean, it is just amazing to witness, and it is even more powerful if you can experience it yourself.
Right. Okay, well, coming on, just building on that. How have
Hey,
how have you seen our local art
I'm sorry.
community change over
Oh, you're welcome.
how have you seen that change over the years
It
in Jacksonville, basically?
it yeah, it was a great community theater was always great for many, many years. But I think what really helps us, we're a destination. We take it for granted because we live here, but people from not that are not from here realize that we're a destination. We have beautiful beaches, we have golf courses, we have weather, you know, depending on the day, things that really bring people back. So we have a lot of people that go do their thing, like myself, and then come back to raise a family or have a family or, just whatever brings them back here. And we are so blessed to get those people back into our community and to the arts. We have an art school, Douglas Anderson and La Villa, that, you know, grow these amazing artists of all kinds that usually go away and then come back. And that has been the change, I think, in the years that I've been involved, is that the amount of people that we have involved, the quality of people that we have involved. And again, it's quality has really upped its game through the years. It was sadly a lot of years were spent with people saying we don't really have great theater here or great art here, and they'll go somewhere else. They'll live here but go somewhere else to see that. They'll travel to see a theater show or a symphony or whatever. We have those things, beautiful things right here. um so the amount of arts, the quality of arts have definitely changed through the years that I've witnessed, for sure.
Well, following up with that, why do you think, and I think you've touched on it, but just a nutshell or a bite, why do you think that community theater is such a valuable part of community? I think you touched on a little some of those points, but as
Yeah,
you know,
it 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 lets you escape. It allows you to be somebody else. But as a whole, community theater, as part of the arts community, is that's a hard question, but it's we have to, as a audience, we need to escape as well. It's a valuable resource. We love books, we love visuals, but when it's moving and happening in front of you and you feel like you're part of it, there's no other experience like that, really. Symphony is gorgeous. You sit there and you listen and it takes you places as well, your imagination. This is a visual thing truly happening in front of you. It is live, it's exciting. You're with people, like-minded people around you. And if you're not like-minded, you become like-minded. It's really an awesome thing to witness in many realms.
well, now this is a good one for you,
Uh,
and I really thought about this question because I know you so well. You know, ha 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 ha.
oh Lord.
Okay. What has directing, producing, and managing taught you about people and yourself?
Okay, so I was just having this discussion last night because we are having a little bit of a struggle bus with our actors. People are going through lots of things. It has taught me that I'm not just one thing. I'm not just a director. I'm not just a producer. I'm not a managing director. I'm also a friend, a teacher, a parent sometimes, a godfather, a therapist. I have to take on all those things because there's so many personalities happening in one place. And this goes with teachers too, as you well know, is these everybody has something going on. They have some kind of disability or mental health issue or physical ailment. It is the amount of things you take on in this world is amazing, and it gets to be a lot. It has taught me to be empathetic, more empathetic. I'm pretty empathetic anyway. I am a lover. I am a caregiver, even though I don't have children or want children. I take on um people that need help. I usually
You
give
sure
people.
do.
I do. I do. I collect people, and I love that about myself. I love putting people together. That's my passion as well in theater, as I've learned that my real passion by doing what I do is giving people opportunity to have the spotlight. It is sad to me to know that some people just walk through life like cellophane, like Mr. Cellophane. People don't see them. People don't pay attention to them. They might be meek on the outside, but they just want this, they want the attention sometimes. They need the attention. It's really my passion to give these people an opportunity to thrive and learn and showcase their ability. It's really what drives me. It is a labor of love, trust me. There are moments I ask myself, why am I still doing this after all these years? Because it is stressful. So that has been what has changed in me and what I've learned, if that answers that question.
Does very much so. And I think those of us that work in nonprofit, whether it's churches or anything else, I mean, our bookstore, and Catherine will say this, our bookstore is volunteer driven. If we did not have the volunteers that we have, I mean, we could not exist. It just would not happen. And
Yeah.
it's just, and I mean, it's the care and the feeding. And I imagine Catherine could probably shake her head and say that she's learned the same thing as being the manager of this cats that she and you manage occasionally a bunch of cats moving along in different moving pieces and different parts. Um,
Yeah.
but I think that's what makes community theater. I'm just going to interject for me because I've watched you probably ever since you've been back in Jacksonville.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and watch the trajectory and watch that growth from sewing clothes and button zone to building some of the most marvelous stages that even in New York City, are comparable. And I've been there in London and seen it all. I mean, it's just comparable stuff. Okay,
Thank you. Wow.
let's talk about this now. Um, right now
Excuse me.
we've the investment, and I think that's really important for everybody that's here,
Mhm.
because I think those of you that have not partaken in this rich community of community theater in Jacksonville, God, are you missing out? That's all I got to say to you. There have been some of the best, and I've been to Broadway, I've seen it all, and worked in theater all my life too, with children's theater. We have, and I'm not patting Lee on the back by any means, but I am patting him too. He is a part of a community of professionals, and they really truly are professionals that are growing. And Grady and I have seen it in 15 years, watched, because we have our favorites that we kind of watch that are in every lots of different productions.
Mhm.
And we've watched them expand and grow to just and the material, because that's something else that I want you to kind of address. And I think you did just a little bit, Lee. The material, the kind of quality of plays that we are being exposed to now in Jacksonville, as opposed to 15 years ago, is unbelievable. I remember sitting in that small little A-Bet theater
Mhm.
watching the Putnam Accounting Spelling Bee with that one, laughing my heart out. It was just a
Mhm.
tiny little theater, and watching that, and that was my first indication. Wow, you know what? That was a long time ago, wasn't it, Lee? You remember that show?
It
Uh,
was almost 20
yeah,
years ago.
every single one of those performers on that stage was bringing all of the qualities that Lee was talking about to that stage at that particular moment. And that was when I knew that there was something out here that was going on that I wanted to look at. I wanted to see. And in every year we have season tickets up to lots of different things, but it's just gets better and better. So to move along with that thought, Lee, why do you think it's important for us, and we're all a community sitting around this art and noon table today? Why
Mhm.
is it important for us to invest in arts from your side? And you've been in it since you were a baby. Jack Frost, tell us.
It is very important, number one. Mainly because there's so many ways you can go with this conversation, but um, I think it's investing in people mostly. It's investing in a it's investing in people's mental health. It's investing in people. I call it free therapy. It really is. People come to, like I keep saying it, they come to escape. It's to invest in that alone makes it worth it. It also, I think, if you haven't, there are people in the world that have never experienced theater, and it baffles me. I'll go buy a weird prop, and I'll be in the checkout line, and they'll ask me what it's for, and I'll say theater. And I've had people actually say, "What's theater?" And it blows my mind that there's amount of people in the world that have not experienced this wonderful thing called theater. And if they haven't experienced theater, they haven't experienced visual art, they haven't experienced most things. um, and I think, number one, I have to say it's investing in people. It gives people a beautiful opportunity to discover themselves and discover others and how the world works. It, like I keep saying, it finds your like-minded people. That's one answer. I think there's a lot of different ones. You can go a lot of different ways, but I think it just it's so special. And until you witness it and you're in an audience, you just don't know.
Well, the thing that, to me too, just to kind of follow up on that, is that you don't get an opportunity to see Hamlet, say, produced, or you don't get an opportunity to see other plays that you grew up with. And reading them and then having them performed is two different things. And you get an You know, you just you just
Absolutely.
you just get that understanding. I don't care if it's a local school play, you do. Um, Anyhow, let's go now to what I have been wanting to know about, and we haven't had a chance to discuss, and I'm so excited about. Hello. Okay. How did the Arts Collective? Let's talk. This is the reason, one of the reasons I got him here today. Let's talk about your new venture, the Arts Collective. First of all, how did that vision, Arts Collective, start?
Okay, so um, years ago, when I started getting involved with theater back here in Jacksonville, we had this period of time that we call the magic ages. It was this time where there were just wonderful people doing theater. People wanted to hang out at the theater. They wanted to be there. They weren't going into coffee shops, sitting there on their computer. They were coming to the theater to be on their computers and doing their work and just wanting to be there because it felt so wonderful. You, like I said, I keep saying you found your family and your friends. You want to hang out, and so that sadly kind of disappeared and dissipated through. Is that a word? Okay,
Pretty
good. I was like, why does it sound not right? I know you would know, Sandy. Um,
good. Right.
Miss Words. Um,
Yes.
by the way, that opening was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. By the way, I wanted to say that earlier and I forgot.
Thank you,
Um,
Lee.
um, uh, but it was a very, very special time, and a lot of us miss that. We have an influx of new people all the time, and I'm sad that they never got to experience that time in our lives. And I kind of just wanted that back. I wanted it to be a place that everybody comes. We're also missing an element of bringing in and integrating film artists, we're comedians, visual artists, dancers, choreographers, everybody that's in any arts form. I love input. I love collaboration. That's what I really wanted to do. So my good friend Julie Harrington and I were in New York, and we were seeing Hamilton and a bunch of great shows back then, and we just got so inspired. Not at the big theaters. We were at this little tiny theater. The space was really cool. It was decorated. It was just an amazing space. And we were like, we need something quirky and wacky and comfortable, and it makes your mind whirl with creativity, and everybody's hanging out and doing their thing, and that's how it began. We were in New York and just thinking, why can't we do something that will bring back that joy and that liveliness that we once had? And so that's how it began. And then talk, talk, talk. We were like, let's stop talking and make it happen. And so we started looking for a building, and that took forever because it's not easy to find a building that allows a stage space, because a lot of buildings have like support columns, which we had at the Five and Dime. You'll remember that, Sandy. It's like we had to remove a column from the middle of the stage, and it was so expensive. So we wanted to find somewhere that really could um, we could build a vision and our vision in. So we looked and we looked. We talked about building. We talked about do we rent? Do we build? Do we rent? Do we buy? Do we all these things? And so much red tape in the city. So much red tape in the city. It's like we can't have anything nice, because everybody's wanting it. First of all, everybody takes their time at our city. I hate to say that, but the amount of time we waited and waited for, permits and things like that. So we finally found this space, which if you're from Jacksonville, you've probably passed it 1,000 times, a million times, like I have, and always said, that's a cool building. That's a weird building. And so we ended up with that building. And I was like, that's so cool, because I remember driving by as a kid. We didn't have a lot of architecture like that. It's a mid-century 1972 built building on Beach Boulevard, right near Dean Road, where the Memorial Hospital in that area, San Souci is what the neighborhood's called. So we found that, and then, we bought it, and it took 8 months to get permitting to even start anything in it. So we thought, is this ever going to happen? I kind of lost my passion for it, to be honest, because I thought, I don't think this is going to happen. Even though we own this building, we'll have to resell it because we don't know if it's even going to happen. Well, we go on a cruise, um, which I never get to take, and I have been so blessed to have some time in those 8 months to really do some traveling and some things for myself. So we're on this cruise, Julie, myself, her husband, and her kids, and my friend Gary Baker, and we're on this cruise, and we get noticed that they had started demolition in the building. We were like, oh my God, it's happening. And then that excitement built again. And we got home. And by the time we got home, like 3 days later, most of the demolition had been done, and we could see the bones of the building. And it really got us re-excited about it. And it was amazing to see that something had been done in the building. And it was really wonderful. And then we, kicked into full gear to get it done. And here we are 2 weeks away from opening, and I'm fine. There's a lot of parts still to happen, but we're there. The building is pretty ready. They're finishing up the seating as we speak, like literally right now. The seating risers. And yeah, we're here.
What basically is the mission of Arts Collective?
Because I'm not the one that memorizes everything, because I got a million other things. I'm gonna read you what our current mission is. Um, Arts Collective Theater is to be Jacksonville's ultimate creative gathering place, infusing all art forms to deliver bold theatrical experiences that amplify diverse voices and spark genuine connections.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Short and sweet.
As a wordsmith, I like that. So,
Thank you.
so break it down. So, what do you envision absolutely happening there? Uh, how would it involve people like us that are sitting around
So
this table here? Would it?
it would, because we'll have visual art all the time in our lobby and down the hallways in our theater space. Um, we also invested a lot of money into a giant LED wall that is on the back of our stage. It is a 10 by 16 TV, pretty much, that is 10 foot by 16 foot, not 10 inches by 16 inches. Um, it's huge. So we'll have film. We're going to be able to have curated film nights in the space, which is very exciting for the film community. Because for you that live in Jacksonville, we lost our beloved Sunray Cinema in Five Points, and the film artists are lost for where to go to be able to do their um, film debuts, and showing I'm very excited about that part of it. I mean, I'm excited about the whole thing, but that group has really shown a lot of interest in that. So we'll do curated film nights. We'll be doing live music on certain nights. So the theater shows will be on the weekends mostly, on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, and then all the other nights except for Monday, because we do need a night off. We'll be doing either comedy, um, cabaret, live music, film. I mean, the gamut. We could do everything, anything we want to. I want to bring in some artists to do some things. I want some wacky, crazy things. I follow these people on Instagram, and I'm obsessed with them. It's a husband and wife duo that does impersonations of Liberace and Liza Minnelli. And they do a cabaret show, and I want to bring them here so bad. It is the funniest thing you've ever seen. They're wonderful. The costumes are so good. I want to bring in, stuff that people haven't seen, and it's just fun and joyful and crazy and wacky.
Yeah. Will there be food?
No, well, we'll have like snacks, but not. There's nothing worse to me
I know
than
what you
sitting in a theater that's not a dinner theater, watching somebody eating nachos. or,
You were going to
a,
say that.
a chicken wing, or, whatever. It's like, why do we have to do that at the theater? Why can't we have dinner, a nice dinner before or after, and come to the theater and enjoy? So we'll have a candy bar. I need a good candy bar, a good sugar rush once in a while. We'll have popcorn. We'll have things like that. Wine, beer, water, um, all kinds of stuff. So we're not going to feed you fully, but we'll have some nourishment of some sort there if you're going to pass out. Um,
Thank you. You know that's important.
it is. It is.
You know how important it is.
I like food. Trust me.
Okay, now let's talk about what's coming up. Let's talk
Mm.
about the first production, okay? Victor Victoria, tell us about it. Tell us how it got started and who's going to be in it. We have, and tell us one of our own, okay?
So first and foremost, you do have one of your own. So Jonathan Leonard Spencer is in the choir there at your church, and he's in our show right now. He's done a lot of shows with me. He is a good staple in our theater community. He's become. We love him. He is kooky and crazy and wacky, just like the rest of us, but maybe even a little bit more. But we love and adore him. So he's in it. We've got what I can call a star-studded cast for our community. We've got some really heavy hitters. We've got Josh Waller, Rashonda Campbell, Julia Blasi. She moved here during COVID and has been a godsend to our need for a triple threat girl in the city. But we chose Victor Victoria. You all might have seen the Julie Andrews film. I think a lot of people will know that. It is a good, classic, funny, glamorous. It's a beloved movie to me, and the musical has never been done in our area, and it's only been done in South Florida. It hasn't been done in Orlando or anywhere else on this side of Florida. So, um, it's exciting to be done. It's a difficult show. It's a big show. I wanted to do it because, first of all, it's never been done. It's my bucket list show. I was like, if I'm doing this, I'm going to do it big so we can open with a splash. Um, so we as a community have really kind of stopped doing dance shows, like old fashioned dance shows. And so my goal is to really nurture these dancers that don't get an opportunity a lot. We have a lot of dancers. They might not sing that well, but they dance very well. So we have a lot of singers that sing very well and dancers that dance very well. We just don't have a lot of people that do it all that we know of yet, but we'll build those people. We'll nurture those people. And that's another reason I wanted to do it. And it's just a fun story. It's almost like a farce where it's a woman playing a man playing a woman, and they're all trying to figure out if she's really a man or a woman. And then one of the toughest mobsters falls in love with Victor and thinks he's gay, but realizes that she's actually a woman. So it's just this ridiculous, funny, um, really, really fun show. And I saw it on Broadway 3 times. I saw it with Julie Andrews. She was 65 when she did it. That's when she lost her voice completely. It's a sad story, but that was a show where she had vocal issues, went and had surgery, and they botched her vocal chords, and she never could sing again. So sad. Um, and then I saw Liza Minnelli in the role. And then the third time I saw it was with Raquel Welch. And then I saw it on tour with Tony Tennille. Who remembers Tony Tennille?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm showing my age too. So it's it was just delightful. It's sexy, it's funny, it's glamorous, the costumes are amazing, the characters are funny, and it feels like a good old-fashioned musical with it only being from 1985. I think the movie was done. So it's very exciting for me to get it done and produce it.
It's so funny that you mentioned that. Grady and I went to the WCGX, it's at the PBS station, and saw
Mhm.
Singing in the Rain. They have the
Mm,
openings. We all
mhm.
sit there. I mean, it was all, huge audience. And we all sat there just thinking, I know every one of us in that audience, oh, bring this back. you know, bring this joy back, bring the
I
hoofing
know.
back, bring the singing
Yeah,
back, and just because we all left in a much better place. I know when we got in those cars and drove home than we did. And that's what this movie, I remember this. I love this movie. Uh,
that's what theater in general does, right?
yes.
I can't, even if you see a sad show, you walk out of the theater being a better person, connecting with other people that you might not have met before. It's I keep saying it's a wonderful experience. So please, if you haven't ever experienced theater, it has to happen. It will change you.
Okay, let's look ahead in 5 years. Where do you see Arts Collective in 5 years?
That we've been talking about that a lot.
Yeah.
There is talks, and we would like to compensate people. We are blessed beyond belief to have the amount of talent we have here. They deserve something. Do I ever think that it'll be a long time before Jacksonville is a place that will be able to pay actors a full living wage? It's just how it is. And I know people, there's Lumen Rep that is paying people. There's Alhambra that still pays people. It's a hard business. It is hard to pay. Even these places are not paying somebody for them to not have another job or have another side hustle to supplement their income. It's just hard to pay people what they're worth. Sadly, artists don't get paid what they're worth. None of them. Even if they get paid, they don't get paid enough. None of us get paid enough. We all know that. Nobody gets paid enough. Um, so that might be something we try to do down the road, but ultimately, I think the goal is just to keep people doing what they're good at, what they love, what they're passionate about, giving people opportunity to come and witness quality theater. We're really trying to up the game with this technology that the world keeps flying at us all. I'm not the best at all technology. I think a lot of us can say that. But to keep the technology in the theater up is really important too, is to keep that level of quality with that LED wall that we can do so many wonderful things with. And um, it's just, it's cool and our lights are beautiful. We have moving, cool lights. I mean, it's really, really cool. I cannot wait for everybody to see what we can do.
Well, what role, and this is a tough one, and a lot of people have talked about it in these. Oh, okay, I think we're in a transition period in our lives in this country and across the world.
Mhm.
What role do you think? And I know probably the pat answer, but would be we've discussed those types of things. What role do you think the arts plays now in our lives, especially in this day and age?
I mean, I keep saying it's an escape from reality. It takes you away from the stress. It takes you away from watching the news. It's, whatever view you have politically doesn't matter. We just all need to get along. And I think that's what the arts does. It brings people. We have every type of person you could ever imagine in the theater community, in the arts community, period. It just brings those people together. It makes you escape. It takes you out of that reality of whatever you're feeling, especially politically. It's hard. That's the main. I know that's the main thing for me. It and in the arts, who knows if we even will have arts funding anymore and things like that. I mean, we'll have personal and private donations, but we just don't know day by day what the arts funding is going to have for us, if anything. So so the the I, I hate to keep harping on that experience thing and takes you out of reality, but it really is the case.
And
Am I
so,
right?
yeah, I agree because I think it leads kind of into the next question that what a community loses or doesn't have,
Oh,
it stops supporting the arts. I mean, I think about that just in our own family and how much we enjoy it, and then think about the possibility of not going to the Cummer Art Gallery, taking a
I
stroll,
mean,
or
what's the point? What is the point in living? if you don't have that.
Mhm.
And this has always been a conversation for me because we all love TV. And no matter what political view you have, we all watch TV and need TV. We need that entertainment. TV is a version of theater. It's a version of any other art form. We're watching Dancing with the Stars. Everybody watches Dancing with the Stars, or So You Think You Can Dance, or that's why that's people want to do away with all the arts funding, but they're not thinking about, or they don't care about theater or dance or visual art, but they're watching TV. What's the difference?
None,
Right?
none difference,
None.
none. Uh, and then in this day and age too, we have we have a we have a kind of, how do I want to say it, a a need not only for escapism, but we have a need for truth.
Mm.
And to me, when you watch something like The Whale, or when
Oh,
you watch something like, and you get up close personal to it where you're not a far away
yeah,
in in your living room with the TV, but when it's personal, when there's actors
correct.
that are really living that life, or are bringing forth things that are uncomfortable, that literally kind of make us uncomfortable.
The arts need to be uncomfortable. We
Yes.
need we
Yes.
need to feel uncomfortable. We need to know that we're not the only ones that are experiencing what we're experiencing personally or financially or health wise, whatever. She just mentioned The Whale was a show we did at the Five and Dime, which was very hard to watch.
Yes.
Very hard to watch. That show did something that no other show I've ever seen has done, where the show ends and everybody sat in their seat for a good 3 minutes or so until they did anything. And people got up and hugged each other. And there was a movie made of The Whale with Brendan Fraser. If you haven't seen it, the movie is wonderful, but I can't say that it has the same effect that the play does.
It's
We rented so the story is about a 700, 600 pound man that is basically stuck in his home, and he has a nurse that comes and helps him and checks in on him. His ex-wife is his daughter's there. A Mormon missionary shows up at the door. I don't want to tell you the whole thing because it's just hard to watch, but it's beautiful at the same time. It was a beautiful piece of theater, and I was very proud for us to tackle that. We actually rented the off Broadway productions suit that our actor Bill wore. Um, Bill's very tall and slim, and he transformed into this 600-pound man with this suit,
And he
and
did.
he did. He did. The suit weighed 75 pounds on its own, and we had ice packs in the suit to make him cool, but he still sweat through that 70 pounds of foam, and we had to have big giant industrial fans blowing from both sides overnight to dry out that suit for the next performance for him. It was it it was a labor of love,
Yes.
100%. And did he get paid for it? No, he did not get paid for that.
But
Um,
but a little
no.
old lady 12 years later still remembers the impact of
Yeah.
that. So his payment was that the people that sat, the community that sat in that theater that night and witnessed that performance and witnessed that play,
Hmm.
it's remained with them. And that's,
Yeah.
to me, as you know, is just what community theater is back as well. I mean, there's the truth there, there's the escapism, and then there's the heart that
Yeah.
comes, that runs through it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could leave our audience today, Lee, with one thought about supporting local theater and the arts, what would it be, sweetie?
Just go. I think I mean, period. Go to whatever. Go to what you can afford. Go volunteer. You see shows for free if you go and just usher or pour some drinks at the some libations at the refreshment stand. It is accessible. It is absolutely 100% accessible. And I'll personally say if you don't have the money to come, or you know somebody that doesn't have the money to come, call me. Call Sandy.
Yeah.
Call Grady. They will help you.
We,
They'll we'll get your butt in that seat, whether it kills us or not. And I
we,
always say, if you, it's just getting the people to the gallery, the theater, the whatever, it will sucker you in. It just will. It will get you. We'll get you.
20 years later.
Yeah.
Well, in closing, Lee, thank you, babe, for sharing your
Thank you.
remarkable journey and your vision for the future of community theater. And your passion reminds us that the arts do much more than entertain. They build community, they preserve our stories, they encourage our understanding, and they certainly inspire hope. Thank you to all of you guys that showed up for this wonderful backstory. Wonderful. We hope you'll continue this journey of lifelong learning with us as we explore the many ways that art enriches our minds and broadens our perspectives and nourishes our spirits. And I just want to share a couple of things with you that's coming up because Catherine and I have worked so hard on this, and by gosh, I want y'all all to hear it. This fall, Art at Noon is excited to introduce something that's new. It's called Brushstrokes and Birdsong, Exploring North Florida's Wilderness. It's going to be a four-part series inspired by Kathy Stark and her book, The Wilderness of North Florida. Sparks. It was inspired by her artwork and her writing. This series invites all participants to experience North Florida through art, history, ecology, guided discovery. Just as our Spires in the Sun did, it used churches as the gateways to understanding architecture, history, and community. Brushstrokes and Birdsong is going to use Florida's remarkable landscapes as gateways to understanding the natural heritage. It's going to begin really in September the 17th because I think we're going to be at Cummer uh, Art and Gardens with a Zoom that's going to be around the globe, around the globe, all the treasures from the permanent collection that are at the Cummer. I don't know if that date's right, but Catherine will check it in a minute. Is it, Catherine?
Yeah, the Zoom part that Sandy mentioned will be on Thursday, September 17th at noon. And then the visit to the Comer for the art around the globe will be Tuesday, September 22nd.
And it'll be up on our thing. Then in November, we're going to actually step into Kathy's book with
Well,
visits.
October. Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
October, Kathy's coming.
Yeah. Well, October she's going to come to the
Right.
church, and she will after church service in October, and she will share her wonderful book with us and all of her insights. But then in November, we're going to step in the book. And we're going to go to down to Old Green Cove, my stomping grounds. And she has a wonderful park there, Camp Chawinwa. And we're going to discover the river that shaped a community. And we're going to explore the St. Johns River, that how it influenced history and ecology and culture. We're going to have artists there. You don't want to miss this one. And throughout this four-part series, participants are going to enjoy presentations, field excursions, photography opportunities, sketching activities, expert-led tours, and why preserving these places matter. Then our session for the year is going to end in December with and I love to call it, this is our Art at Noon adventure tour. And this one is going to be Windows of Light, where we're going to discover the St. John's Cathedral stained glass windows. And together we're
Mm.
going to explore the cathedral's magnificent stained glass windows, uncovering their artistry, their history, their symbolism, the biblical stories, while discovering how light, color, and craftsmanship, I'm big on that, have inspired worship for greatness. As Art at Noon, and let me conclude with this, because this is really our initial phase for the next year, so I have to give you this. At Art at Noon, we believe lifelong learning, as I said in the beginning, is a journey of both the mind and the spirit. Art invites us to ask questions like we did of Lee today. seek understanding, as we did with Lee today, to appreciate beauty, and also, as we did with Lee today, to develop deeper meanings into that substance of art. Whether we gather in a theater or on Zoom or at a museum or a cathedral or beneath the trees along the St. Johns River, we can we just encounter and can encounter these opportunities for reflection and for gratitude and even for wonder. So our guiding philosophy, and what you'll hear over and over again with us, is that art is not separate for life. It helps us understand life, like history, and it strengthens community. Lee, thank you. It inspires stewardship of creation. Thank you, Kathy. And enriches our spiritual lives. We believe beauty has the power to draw us closer to one another and really, friends, closer to God. So thank you for supporting Art at Noon, and I hope that you will go into the bookstore. And we have a curated section in our bookstore of art books that we have looked through, and some of them are absolutely wonderful. That when you've got time to sit under that tree, or when you've got time to read, open up one of those books and reflect on the beauty and the creation. And then you can just keep on looking around and go and see Victoria and all of these other wonderful things. But before we leave, I just have to turn it back. Does anyone have a question for Lee this afternoon that you would like, that's something that you, as he's opened up some things, that you would have a burning question? Anybody?
Lee, can you share the dates for everybody of Victor Victoria, please?
Absolutely. So we open next Friday, July 10th. The shows are at 7:30 at night. We have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday shows for 3 weeks. So it closes the 26th. Sunday shows are at 2. Nighttime shows are at 7:30. All that information's on our website at artscollectivetheater.com under events. We also have ongoing auditions. If you ever get the want to audition or know somebody that wants to, we take ongoing submissions for, we don't have certain dates. We're always looking for people. So we open that. Our next show, can I say that? Our next show is a really ridiculous show called Once Upon a One More Time, where it is a Cinderella story with all your favorite princesses and princes told all through Britney Spears music.
Oh no.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh no, I
You
cannot.
might go, oh my God, but it is absolutely the most fun thing you've ever seen. It is wild and wacky and great all at the same time.
One other question for me, Lee. Have you opened, are have you booked anything for the rest of the Arts Collective comedians,
Oh yeah.
that kind of thing?
So we just did teasers for, so we're in what we're calling season 0 right now because we're only doing 3 shows because we're opening in the middle of the year. So we're calling it season 0, and then season 1 starts in February with the producers.
Hmm.
And then this goes with you guys. The next show goes, well, 2 shows. We do Jesus Christ Superstar in concert next. And then something that goes really well with your group is a musical called Sunday in the Park with George.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're doing that one. Oh, great.
Yeah. Which
Oh,
is, about,
listen.
yeah. And then we're doing a really, Sandy, you probably saw this when we did it at the Five and Dime, but I'm going to revisit Silence the Musical, which is a parody of Silence of the Lambs, which is literally the most fun you'll ever see on stage ever. And then we'll close out with a show called Who's Holiday, which is Cindy Lou Who in her middle age, and she's gone through rehab and lots of troubles, and now she lives in a trailer on Mount Crumpet. And if your ears are sensitive, don't come see that one. It is wacky and wild. One woman for a very short show. It's about 60 minutes. And that's hysterical. Very fun. So we have a wild ride, but again, we'll intersperse all the film, comedy, live music, cabaret, all that stuff. It amidst those 5 shows through the year,
And there is not anything funner than going out to eat and then going to a play.
or
And
vice versa.
and then going to a play and going out to drink. No, just
True. Or dessert.
dessert.
Uh-huh.
Anybody else have a question for Lee? Lee, thank you. Oh, yeah.
I think
Okay.
Allison.
Allison.
Sorry, super quick. I'm obsessed with that Liza impersonator show. If
Yeah.
you grab them, is that going to be on that same events tab on your
It will.
website?
It will.
Okay.
I messaged their booking person, and I haven't heard back from them yet. But it will be keep on the lookout. I'm going to keep trying. They could be $1 million, but I doubt it. They're going to other little theaters around the country. So, be on the lookout. It's brilliant.
Okay. Lee, thank you. And everybody, thank you for joining us. And
Thank you.
we'll have another surprise in August, so be looking. Okay. All right. Thanks
Thank
again,
you,
Lee.
everybody.
Bye
Love you,
bye.
Lee.
Thank you. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Catherine.